Hey folks, this is Amazon Jude coming to you from Wyoming. I think it's time to say that I'm not one of those beautiful talking heads that you see. They're all of 12 years old on our news cycles in our talk, internet news, or Fabulous 5, Fox, CNN, ABC, NBC. Just because you're beautiful doesn't mean you're smart. I was beautiful too, and I was 30 and, didn't have a husband and kids and a farm to take care of. But today was one of the most interesting days of the last, 6 years that I've been involved with paying attention to politics. I get blocked on Twitter. Can you believe that? A woman in Wyoming with 21 geese, 5 horses, old vehicles, living on a ranch, 10 miles outside of a population of 55,000 people, get blocked on Twitter? Are you kidding me? But yet Kathy Griffith could hold up a head of our President of the United States like she just chopped his head off like some Islam son of a bitch. And Pelosi and Maxine Waters and Adam Schiff and Chuck Schumer, all these guys have known for 4 months that our president was not under investigation, and not a word. They pushed that Russian narrative all the way to the wall. They still continue to push it today. But the fact is that in October 2016, this last year, Obama turned our internet over for censorship. You guys missed it. Most of us missed it, but I just happen to be a little more, in tune because I do get up in the mornings and I do pay attention to what they're doing because there's something here. There's nothing about the Trump-Russian collusion there. I think we've all figured that out. It's what's going on. While the right hand is busy, the left hand is doing something. And there's no doubt in my mind that the left hand is doing something. I don't know who watched the Comey hearing yesterday. I imagine millions of Americans did. And I don't know if you guys caught this, but it was only a split second that the cameras wandered over to Mr. Painter. Now, who is Mr. Painter? Mr. Painter was Baby Bush's ethics advisor. Mr. Painter went in front of the Ways and Means Committee, I don't know, what was it, a couple of months ago, trying to force Trump to show his tax returns. Okay, and it's a pretty good little debate. You might want to watch that. It was about 2 months ago. If you want, I'll try to post it in the bottom link here, or I'm sure I saved it on one of my favorites. But anyway, the point is this Mr. Painter. What a dirty dog. Why is he at Comey's hearing? That's the first thing. That's a big old question mark. I thought they didn't know each other. I thought Comey only had X number of visits with presidents. Well, this guy was President Bush's ethics violation. So he's there at a Comey deal? No. The swamp isn't just wide. It's deep. Very, very deep. And the deepness comes in when you start to understand the monkeys on the tree. Bush is connected to Clintons. They're cousins. Papa Bush gave Baby Bush a presidency. They had to go with Obama in between because it would have been too obvious. So this is one big old nasty booger. It's a big old nasty booger. They never expected Trump to win. They never wanted Trump to win. I mean, look, we've got 435 House members, and it's about split half and half, 51, 52 the other side. Okay, where are these quiet Republicans? They're all huddled off in a corner somewhere. We can't stand with Trump. No, we got to keep our re-election coming up. Republicans, you're on notice too. You keep screwing around, and we're going to take your chairs. You know who we're going to give them to? We're going to give them to independent parties and constitutionalists. We're not going to give them to the Democrats. That's a given. Those guys can all take a flying, FUC in a rolling donut down a hill. But we're not going to give them to you just because you're claiming to be a Republican. If you don't get on board the Trump train in the next 6 months, you're not going to get back on board. So that's where we're going. I figure that's probably why I'm kicked off of Twitter right now. God only knows for how long this time. But like I was saying, you can show heads of presidents dead. You can have Nancy Pelosi in a veiled threat. How's Mr. President's health? WTF does that mean? Is that a threat that they're going to try to kill Trump like they killed JFK? No, guys. The FBI, NSA, all those guys, the alphabet soups, you guys have run too long, too strong, with an open range and an open checkbook. And I think Rand Paul is correct on this. I think Jason Chavez is correct on this. When you start violating the Fourth Amendment rights of the United States Constitution and spy on Americans and spied on a president that was never under investigation. Let that sink in. They were spying. Why? For political reasons. Who started the Russian idea? Well, I can remember, in fact, I posted it on my Twitter right before I got kicked off again this time. If you're not on a government watch list, you're not doing your job. Anyway, remember how they crucified Trump over the birther movement? Okay, well, Hillary was the Russian movement. It was her and Podesta that were making money off of the Russians. No wonder Putin hates her ass. She ripped him off, man. Anyway, let's get back to the reality of it. We know our Main Street media is useless. And unless there's people like me and Sean Hannity and hell, there's got to be almost 1 million of us out there. Pay attention to us. Because while you guys are out busting your nuts, putting food on the table, we were afforded the luxury of being able to follow this in real time and not have to, worry about our families. We're older, yes, but I was once young too. I was a pool shooting, whiskey drinking, motorcycle riding. In fact, my name, Amazon Jude, came because I was a bartender for 26 years and I used to throw hookers out of a bar. So I'm not a slouch. I'm like Donald Trump. I'm like a lot of us out here that had to work our way through life. We didn't go to college, or if we did, it was just for, basic degrees. We got caught up in raising our kids and, keeping our homes together and our lives together. And now we get our retirement. And we're going to try to help you. Because what you're being taught in your schools is bullshit. They're leaving out our historic sites. They're pulling them out of cities. Why would you do that? I mean, is it to erase history? Is it to change history? Those are damaging. Everyone gets to decide what they believe or not believe about a certain portion of history based on the information you're given. And in these guys in the liberal schools, that's why they want to keep their teacher unions together, because then you can keep shit teachers on who don't even deserve to be there. Remember the gal that was, what was it, stump fuck, fuck Trump on the back of her coat? Man, if I lived in that district and my kid was in that school, I'd go over there and kick that fucking bitch's face in. You don't like my president, that's fine. You don't do it in a classroom. You don't teach it to my kids. And that is so unpatriotic. And that's the point what's going on with these guys. These liberals have gone absolutely, nuts. They don't want God. They don't want man is married to woman. I mean, it's not the government's job to raise your children in education. That's your job. You laid down with them, and you got pregnant, and if you can't afford a $6 box of rubbers, but you can afford an iPhone and an iPad and a $50,000 Escalade and manicured nails, I don't want to pay for your birth control. You get knocked up, it's because you're stupid. I'm 54 years old. I got pregnant once. You know why? Because that's all I could afford to raise without having to take food stamps and government housing and have somebody come in and inspect my home once a month. You little snowflakes need to wake the fuck up. Because you're going to be sorry when you go to collect your parents' goodies and they're not there. Because they had to use those goodies to prop your sorry ass up for your bad decisions. So anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. I was trying to cover too many deals. Let me know what you think on my webpage, Amazon Jude at YouTube. Or you can catch me on Twitter at Judy Jones, Casper, Wyoming. You'll see this. I'm really pissed off over Twitter, but I'm glad Comey stepped all over himself. I think him playing the victim card is pretty sad. He was proven a liar. He told Senator Grassley, 2 months ago, he had never leaked anything. He had never given any information to any outside source or inside source. And yesterday he admitted he did all that. So I don't know. Did Hillary get a hold of him and say, do you want to live or die? Do you want your boat to blow up or not? I mean, you can't put anything past these guys. They've had the government hostage for the last 40 fucking years. And here's Trump going, nah, I think we'll dig out the weeds and start a new garden. These guys are going insane. So, with that, Sean Hannity, hello. Alex Jones, Mark Dice, Bill Still, Lisa Haven. I love all you guys because you are my inspiration.